the paintings. "Where are you going with those paintings, man?" said Ralph. "To Moor," said Mike, as he loaded his van. "Need some company?" Mike nodded. "I'll be gone a couple of hours, though." "I have time, but I'll need some beers." "I can't be drinking, Ralph." I know. But if we're going to the moors, I will need a drink." Mike hadn't seen many people after his father's funeral. He was surprised at how few people came. The greyed hall of the crematorium was empty, save for a few solitary wreaths. The same old family turned up. The ones that turned up to weddings, anniversaries and funerals. Aunts and uncles, distant cousins, estranged, secular, milking the grief. They said the same old things. "He always used to. He never once did. He was always kind. He never once did." Mike listened to the condolences. He realized they didn't know his father, and that they barely knew each other. The van rose and fell on the dips beside the moor. The dying autumn sun fell over the dying autumn bracken, turning the hills a red gold. The road took a sharp turn up, northward to the top of the moor. "Where are we headed, Mike?" said Ralph. "Sipton Quarry." "And what are we going there for?" "To burn my father's paintings." The conversation ended. The silence built, and they both focused on the road. Sipton Quarry was the place people went to dispose of things. Mattresses, caravans, air rifle pellets. The debris built up. Then teenagers came and set fire to it. Mike knew he wouldn't be bothered. 50 years of anguish, pain, and joy would turn to ash. Then the ash would merge with the ash of older fires in the sump of the dead quarry. When they pulled up to the mossy cliffs, it was dark. They passed the journey, talking football. The beer had sunk in, and Ralph asked the question he was too scared to ask before. "What are you burning him for?" Mike didn't answer. He took a painful gasp, then smothered his head with his hands. "This was my father's dream. He worked it his whole life. He told people he was an artist, but he never made it. He always told me he would become famous after he died." "Then why don't you sell them? Make some money," said Ralph, rubbing his finger and thumb. "I'm going to erase him from the earth." Ralph heard the rage in his voice. He patted Mike on the shoulders. They were tense. "You do what you got to do, man," said Ralph. "But hurry up and get it lit, 'cause I'm freezing my bollocks off." Mike smiled, but didn't laugh. They got to work piling up the canvases. They piled up the portfolios, then finally the sketchbooks and photo albums of past works. When Mike was satisfied, he took out an old bottle of Terps his father used to clean the oil paint off his brushes and hands. He doused the lot. By this time, Ralph was on his 6th beer. He felt bold enough to ask, "Can I keep one?" Mike shook his head. "I'm ending it tonight." Mike pulled out a worn box of matches. His father had put the dead ones back in the box. It took a while for him to find a live brown match. He struck it and put it to the terps. The fire curved up in anger. The flames rose 8 feet in the air, all the colours of the rainbow. They watched it burn until all that was left was the smouldering wood frames of the canvases and the red hot staples. They drove home. In the morning, nothing remained but dew-wet ash.